Okay, so welcome everyone to our webinar. My name is Matej Stefanik. I'm VP of Product in Kentico, and I will kick off today's session. So 2 days ago, we had a webinar focusing on technical aspects of Xperience by Kentico. And in this webinar, we are going to focus more on the business stuff. So who is here today with me? We have James Turner, Director of Product Marketing in Kentico, and we have Sean Wright, our lead product evangelist. So a very strong setup to answer all kinds of questions you might have. And what is the agenda? So we will start with a short reminder of Xperience by Kentico's vision and strategy. Then we are going to show a short demonstration of the product so that you can see how it looks and why it is so cool. And because Xperience by Kentico is out for 12 months now, we want to share with you also a couple of success stories, projects that are already live or are going to be live in a couple of months. And then we want to give you a full overview of all the content and materials so that you know that they exist and where you can find them. And I think that's all for the beginning. Thank you for joining the webinar, and let's start the main block.
Hi everyone, I'm James Turner, Director of Product Marketing here at Kentico. So we're going to kick off with an overview of the vision and strategy for our next generation DXP. Thanks very much, Matej, for the introduction. Okay, so before we look sort of closely at the vision and ultimately the value that Xperience by Kentico delivers, let's look back quickly at when our new platform was first released in July last year. So there are many strengths in our current fully featured DXP, Kentico Xperience 13. People like the ease of use and the great value that it delivers. So we wanted to make sure that simplicity and helping customers to achieve a great ROI, as we've always done, was kind of deeply rooted in the DNA of the new platform. Next up, as the world changes from web-centric to multi-channel and omni-channel, we knew we had to help customers embrace multi-experience. So to reach their consumers essentially on the channels that they love and to be present where they are. We also wanted to speed up the user's adoption of the platform itself. So with so many parts of a DXP, we wanted to help guide customers through the many capabilities that it offers and also to adopt AI in the future to assist wherever possible and essentially to get more value and realize more potential. So you'll see this development come through in the months and next year as well. And finally, we have our SaaS solution, which probably wouldn't come as a surprise to many of you, as we've talked about this quite a lot. But for those businesses that want to offload hosting to the cloud as part of their digital transformation journey, we wanted to provide a solution for this too. So that's the fundamental internal parts of our product strategy and how we've developed. So let's now look at the vision and the value proposition to the end client. So this is essentially what we're seeing today. End clients are competing with larger competitors who may have bigger budgets and bigger teams, and they need to interact with consumers across multiple digital channels, and that really will be growing all the time. And because competitors have bigger budgets, they need to maximize the value that they get for all of their MarTech tools. So there are many options in the market at the moment, and it can be quite difficult to choose the right solution. So this is our kind of simple take, and we try to make this as simple as we can on the current state. And I'd like to take a few minutes here just to explain where we think we fit and what Xperience by Kentico actually is. So here we're going to show three options. The components are not exhaustive, just examples of what you might find typically within a product. So if you look to the top right hand corner, you'll see that we've got the platform components in white, something that is essentially part of the platform. The pink bubbles are major external capabilities that are not native to the platform. And then we have integrations in grey, which we consider smaller additions to the overall platform or solution. So to give you a kind of a very brief history of the market, firstly, as we can see on screen there, we have the CMS. That's a content management system. CMSs have been around for years, really since the early 2000s. So you have a basic content management system, but everything else must be an external capability. So you have to find additional separate tools that cover things like commerce, email marketing, and automation. This is your traditional CMS, which has naturally evolved over the years into what we call a DXP, or a digital experience platform. So with the rise of digital transformation, if we fast forward around 14, 15 years, CMS platforms were becoming outdated because more functionality was needed as part of the platform. So to really engage with the customer in the new digital age, as we were then, a company would need things like e-commerce tools for online shopping, which was obviously growing massively at that time, built-in customer data for targeting and personalization to get the right message to the right person at the right time, or automated marketing tools for things like tactical marketing, again, when you want to really hit them with those relevant messages. It was only natural at that point for the DXP to be born, so providing more capabilities in a single ecosystem. Early DXPs to market had a more kind of rigid, monolithic design, which was kind of natural during its inception. But what it did mean was that it wasn't as easy to integrate with external business systems that organizations would have had in place already and needed to make sure that they were part of their kind of overall ecosystem. So as DXPs evolved, integrations became a lot more important, and the concept of composability really started to gain some momentum. And as a result, we've seen a new trend in the market really with the composable DXP. The benefit here is flexibility, so you can adjust it to match any business requirement, and that's why some people do like it for certain scenarios. And it can be matched very, very flexibly to those requirements, either through native or external capabilities working together. So any part of the solution can be extended within a single ecosystem, depending on what works best for the customer. So we believe in the concept of composability absolutely at Kentico because it is so flexible. But there are many ways to achieve this. So let's now elaborate quickly on the composable DXP options on the next slide now. So again, we can view these broadly in three categories. So the first option is kind of fully composable, as you can see on the screen now, or like a bespoke solution. So this can work for some organizations. For example, the one that requires kind of absolute premium products because they have very specific needs. Let's say it's Coca-Cola or Ferrari or a really high class brand like that. And their high profile brand demands only the best kind of products and solutions and options on the market. So they are very bespoke requirements. But you must understand really that this is not the norm. And complicated composition is required for every single customer, and everything's different. So this is not a platform you can buy, but one that is built from scratch from architects, and therefore very reliant on developers. And what comes with that is big budgets. So this would demand the most time and resource, therefore the most complex and slowest time to market. Okay, so next one is what we would call an integrated DXP. So this is one where the platform generally consists of different products to make up an overall solution. So, however, unlike the bespoke solution that we've just seen, a single vendor would provide multiple capabilities through separate products, often because of mergers and acquisitions in its own organization. So therefore, this generally means the cost to kind of pre-compose an overall solution are passed on to the customer, which results in a higher price. But it also means that the vendor has chosen which pieces fit their own puzzle in terms of a commercial fit because of those mergers and acquisitions. And it may not result in the best solution for the customer and what they actually require. So there's no commonality between the products really, as they are built using different technologies and principles. And in simple terms, it can be expensive and really cumbersome to work with the various user interfaces and results in a complicated experience. And it can also be a real challenge to integrate with other business applications because of because of the fact that there's just no commonalities in the technology between the different parts of the overall solution. So the result is for the users and for the customers, it's not consistent for marketers or developers, which means a longer learning curve, longer implementation time for the new project, and therefore a slow time to market and a bit longer to realize your return on investment. So now we can see the third option, which is the single vendor DXP. also sold and packaged by a single vendor. The difference here is that all the components are built in unison by the same development teams in-house. So they're not separate products that have been composed together. The key thing to recognize here is that the overall solution architect is unified and built by the same development teams, but it is also composable by nature because it just has to be. Any composition and its costs are therefore optional, and you can choose to opt into these integrations that you need from the start and any time in the future. But as lots of capability is already there, it's likely you won't need to add any external products at the go live stage, so you can get the value sooner and extend the functionality when you need it, as in when the customer needs it. So this principle and this kind of this architecture, this is what we believe in Kentico. This is how we've designed Xperience by Kentico. It's a DXP developed by a single vendor, will offer your team a more fluid and consistent user experience through common UIs. This means it's easier to maintain longer term for technical teams, and it's the least complex out of the three we've just seen to work with. So easier to onboard into your processes and easier to learn. And this generally means faster time to market for end clients, and therefore faster realization of any ROI that you may have put in front of them to try and win the project. And everything is composable by nature, so it's really flexible. Commercially, you just have a single license model, which also simplifies things. And we think it's the best way to incorporate all the best bits from the market and reduces any limitations. Okay, so I now just want to cover another point within the market as well. So we move on to the subject of headless. A big word that's been around and talked about a lot at the moment. Everyone seems to want it. Perhaps a headless approach is sometimes a good way, but not always the best way forward. So let's have a look at the options again. So essentially, most customers, we believe, or a lot of customers these days, will want to deliver multi-experience to their audiences, and that will only grow over time. But they also need to get to market quickly, and they don't want to build things from scratch, and they need some automation and some help within the product to do so. So let's start with the approach of a traditional solution, if you like. The head is the front-end UI, allowing the marketing teams to create web pages using widgets and builder templates, etc. So the issue here is that it doesn't meet the needs of customers of reaching consumers on multiple digital channels. It is just pretty much web-centric here, and it's really suited to kind of that one channel, that website only. And more traditional systems can be seen as more monolithic in their design, so it doesn't offer the flexibility of some of the modern platforms out there. So then we have the headless, kind of a pure headless solution, which has grown in popularity over the years. And as I said a minute ago, it's a big word in our market at the moment. So headless just focuses on content delivery. This does solve the challenge, therefore, of accessing multiple channels via API, which enables a multi-experience solution. However, the users of the product, they don't get the front-end interface that marketing teams need, so they become too reliant on developers. And this means it's expensive and does not provide the agility that a lot of customers will require, which is a really important point. Plus, all the other functionality of a DXP is not there. So again, there a lot of integration would be needed to integrate and get all the other different applications on board for the marketing team to be able to go out and be effective. So now we come to the hybrid headless solution, and we think it provides the best of both worlds. So its structured content can be shared and reused across multiple channels, similar to what headless might do. But we also retain the front end design aspect, meaning the team using the product itself retains control with less reliance on development teams. So most customers would always start with a web first. So the hybrid headless gives you control over the web design, but then allows you to add more channels as you go and move through and experiment in your marketing strategy, such as social media, mobile apps, and so on. Essentially, you can deliver multi-experiences via a flexible, composable platform. And all the expected DXP capabilities come as part of it. So there's more of an all-round solution to satisfy more business needs. And that's why we believe this is the best approach for businesses like we cater for in that kind of mid-market area. It gives the flexibility of headless, but it comes packaged with all the functionality that you would expect from a modern DXP. So we embrace headless, but we actually just see it as just a feature of the overall solution. Ultimately, this adds to getting to market faster and to realize ROI sooner. And for us, that is the one of the most important things that that we hold up as being very paramount to what customers want these days, and being able to get to market and talk to their customers on the platforms that they engage with. So that's the value there. If you think about this example, so let's assume you have a project. Let's assume a customer has a project that's up and running. They're using lots of functionality that is developed by a single vendor with common UIs. So marketers are comfortable with the solution to start with. But then imagine a close competitor launches a new campaign on a new social channel. You need to be agile to counter this new threat with a responsive campaign. So we believe hybrid headless provides the best solution to combat the competitor in this scenario. So the marketing team can quickly respond with a new landing page on their website. They can use a more kind of traditional approach with easy to use widgets that they're used to and that they like, and the page builder that they're used to with like Xperience 13, for example, to create those pages quickly. However, without waiting, they don't need to wait for developers to make the necessary changes in like complex code that they need to. And marketers can experiment with their structured content, deliver it to the right channels in order to combat the threat of their competitor and hit their audience where they want to. So more agility, more autonomy to get things done, and you can respond and be agile to market changes. So that's our take on headless. We believe in it. We believe in composability, but we also believe it is just a feature of the overall solution. So we believe Xperience by Kentico is changing the game, enabling customers to drive better business outcomes with fewer resources by delivering multi-channel digital experience using our hybrid headless platform. So this isn't like a product presentation. We just want to obviously lay some foundations here. We won't go too much into detail about all the features and the platform and everything else. And Sean's going to show you a demo, which is going to give you a much better idea very shortly. But all this kind of means a few things that we think that your customers are going to really enjoy by implementing our new platform. So we help to deliver value to end clients fast because it's a fast, intuitive admin UI, and time to market is really, really quick as well, with common technologies for everything you need and all your kind of marketing applications in a single environment. Long-term value into the future, we think, is important as well. No one wants to re-platform all the time because the tech stack is also built on the newest technologies. Customers can have faith in that one too. We enable the marketing team to do more without an army of developers to support them, and they retain more control. And because of that, they can experiment with new channels and innovate, resulting in a more agile and effective experience for their own consumers. Just a quick note before we kind of move on quickly to demo as well. So just a note on product portfolio. Of course, we still have Xperience 13 available for projects today as well. We have some materials that will help you decide product fit for certain projects. And I'll talk about those after shortly as well. But here's kind of a high-level starting point. For projects that you can see on the left there in blue in Xperience 13, for projects requiring commerce or full-featured digital marketing capabilities, or have less of a focus on multi-channel experiences, then you would opt at the moment for Xperience 13. And we have a well-documented supported upgrade path to Xperience by Kentico in the future when the time is right for you as a partner agency and for the customer themselves. However, for projects that don't require all manner of features right at the moment, who want to centrally manage multiple channels of content, they want a future-proof tech stack that they're going to grow into in the future, and potentially a SaaS solution as well hosted by Kentico, then that would certainly be an opportunity to use the new platform. As I said, we do have some information on this, and I'll come on to it afterwards. So we we'll now go over to Sean. So Sean is not going to use slides. He's going to use content himself, and he's going to show you the product and take you through a demo. So over to you, Sean.
Thanks, James. Hey, everyone. I'm Sean Wright, lead product evangelist at Kentico, and I'm going to walk you through our new demo solution for Xperience by Kentico. So here you can see our new demo solution. It's for a financial institution named KBank. It uses a lot of our branding, but we feel it gives a much more mature experience compared to what you're previously used to with Dancing Goat. We also feel that it takes a more mature approach to content management, managing digital experiences, and showing how you can use multiple channels to deliver different types of digital experiences to your visitors and customers. So I'm going to jump over here to the administration. And if you haven't seen Xperience by Kentico before, you can see that there's some familiarity here with what you're used to in Kentico Xperience 13, but things look a little different. Part of that is underpinned by our approach to UX, where we are rethinking opportunities to make the experience better for administrators and digital marketers, and also because there's a different technology stack underneath this solution. It's all modern technology. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to jump over to something you're probably familiar with, which is the Pages application. And if I go and preview this page, you can see this feels very similar to managing pages in Kentico Xperience 13. However, there are some differences, like the way that you would manage content and create content. But first, I'm going to switch over to something that you will be familiar with, which is the page builder. So here we have the same sort of widget and section management to allow you to compose digital experiences through a web channel. And if I open up the configuration for this banner widget, you can see we have lots of properties here. The UX of this is going to be different than Kentico Xperience 13. We consider it to be great for the types of content modeling that we expect digital marketers to want to do in 2023 and going forward. And key among those is you can see right here, not only can I select existing content from the library of content that we have in this solution, but I can create content inline. And this is something that we haven't been able to provide before, but in Xperience by Kentico, this is enabled by default. And this is a workflow that we expect your clients to really appreciate. So I can come in here and I can start adding some content. I can proceed deeper into configuring this content all in line. I don't have to jump out of my workflow. So I can select a page here, type in some additional content, and you can see below, I can continue to create or select content for this, this configuration for this widget. So when I save it, you can see I now have a new content item here for my widget properties, and I can apply, and the widget can be configured however your team or your client wants it to be set up, just like in Kentico Xperience 13. However, we're enabling a new workflow for you to use. So now I'm going to jump over to one of the other differences in Xperience by Kentico that we think is a real enabler for multi-channel experiences, multi-channel content delivery. And that's going to be the Content Hub. And the Content Hub is a channel agnostic place for you to manage and create content. When I was creating that new content in the page builder, that was creating an item here in the Content Hub. And the Content Hub is not the same thing as creating content in the Pages application, because this content is agnostic of what channel it's going to be delivered through. Any type of content that is designed to be reusable across channels can be. And that's something that your team can configure for your clients based on the requirements of your project. Now, what does that really mean when I say content agnostic channels or delivering multi-channel experiences? Well, here you can see the website channel that we have designed and created for KBank, but we also have a separate microsite, which we're calling KCars, which focuses on delivering personal loans or allowing customers to apply or contact us about personal loans as a financial institution. And we are sharing content here that is coming from the Content Hub into a contact form on maybe a partner website. So this is a separate channel. It's also a website channel, but it's a separate channel that we can deliver that content from, that we manage and create in the Content Hub. We also have another experience here through what we're presenting as a mobile app. This is a mobile-friendly microsite or website, but there's no reason that this content couldn't also be delivered into a mobile app that your team or another team creates and is able to consume the content from Xperience by Kentico. And so all of this content and information is coming from the same Content Hub that powers the website and our partner's microsite. And so there's a whole new way of thinking about content management and digital experiences in Xperience by Kentico that are enabled by this new approach that we have to content management and thinking about things kind of from the ground up. We provide you familiarity with experiences like the Pages application that will allow you to be productive from day one, building out solutions in a way that is pretty similar to Kentico Xperience 13. However, when you need to reach for more advanced or digital marketing use cases that are more mature for your clients, we also enable that with our core concept of multi-channel experiences in Xperience by Kentico. So I think that covers everything for our demo today. Back to you, James.
Okay, so thanks a lot, Sean. It's always good to kind of understand through looking at the actual product itself, kind of bringing that through into a bit more of a reality. So thank you very much. Okay, so we're going to look at a couple of success stories for Xperience by Kentico, and then explain what resources we have as well, and what we're planning on creating as well. Our product marketing team has been busy creating some new bits and pieces for you. And we're going to take you through those and then say what's kind of coming up as well. So firstly, let's just kind of recap. So we launched the Experienced Adopters Program, or XAP, or ZAP, or whatever you want to call it, in July 2022, last year. So this was a program designed to support the first Xperience by Kentico customers. It's been successful, and it's helped us to gather product feedback and support the first projects really well. So the product is growing in terms of the functionality, of course, and we believe it's ready for a lot more customers today. So what have been the benefits for us during this program? Well, we've been able to promote and get early exposure for Xperience by Kentico whilst the platform is maturing. We know it's not in a finished state by any means, but it's allowed us to get to market quickly, a little bit like one of our own selling points as well. So it's allowed us to introduce as well the fundamental value of multi-experience, as Sean as well has just demonstrated, via the Content Hub, via hybrid headless, and via our new capabilities. From all the kind of early projects that we work with as well, we've been able to maximize product feedback into our development teams, which we think is really, really important, and we'll always take that feedback very, very seriously. And we're understanding more and more customer use cases as well, which helps us to ratify and confirm that our own value proposition is correct and relevant in the marketplace. We can also understand what marketing support and training is needed for our partners too. So it's been really, really valuable. In terms of the benefits for our partners as such, it's a chance for early access to a brand new platform and a chance to be the first to market and experiment with Xperience by Kentico, and we hope that that's valuable too. It's a rare opportunity to feedback into our product management team and help to influence the roadmap, and that might help you invariably to make sure that your offering to your customers is right, and we can help you do that as well. And we've offered additional support as well, just kind of support packages for the first projects to make sure that they're a success. So let's look at a couple of projects in particular that we've been working on. So the official sales and marketing organization that you can see on the slide now for Greater Miami and Miami Beach needed to kind of modernize its website with a future-proof DXP. So they needed to invest in a long-term project. That was the key for them. They wanted to kind of grow with us. They love the future-proof stack that was built on .NET and React technologies, and they want to incorporate digital marketing features in the future. So they like the fact that we're investing all of our efforts into the platform, and all the features that they need will be on the way as the months go on and we continue our development going forward. And the result, as you can see, is a 3,500 page website with a marketing team of control and the ability to make changes to the web pages quickly, and they can stay really, really agile with that as well, which is really important to them. So the second one that we'll look at is FSV Mainz 05 Football Club in Germany. As a kind of a sports football club, entertainment space, they have some great use cases, some quite unusual stuff that really interested us for multi-channel and personalization. So they have lots of unusual channels, such as their ticketing system. They have a TV information system that serves the stadium, of course, on match days, which is great for using the content hub with that structured data. And they also have an extensive social media presence that you would expect for any football club in any of the top leagues in the world. So they love experimenting with new and promising technology. This is kind of in-house from the technical teams. And they like to look at options that they perceive as better value. And they're looking forward to the agility of making changes when they need to. So for example, if a fixture date is changed, so due to a cancellation or a postponement of a match, then they need to react quickly, so they can do that fast. They don't need developers to do that for them all the time. Also, they need to be really flexible in their kind of tone of voice, depending on whether they win or whether they lose. So that's really important as well. So once this project is live next month, you can expect to see a new success story on Kentico.com. So keep your eyes open for our newsletters and Kentico.com, obviously, to see that come through. So we've seen a couple of success stories of the Xperience Adopters program so far. So what about partner education and enablement? You probably want more information, more training. How can you learn more? So we'll support you with new assets and materials, as I mentioned before, to increase knowledge and confidence and hopefully adoption of our new platform. So here's a list of helpful resources that you can find in a brand new partner portal section that we have literally created in the last week or two, hot off the press, that again Sean is going to just run through us in a few moments. So we have the sales pitch deck. So you can use this presentation or parts of it when you need it to explain to your clients where Xperience by Kentico fits into the DXP market. We know it's a really crowded space. We briefly looked at that before when we were looking through those slides that I presented around positioning and the kind of value proposition of multi-experience through the flexibility of hybrid headless. So those are some of the slides from that presentation, and we'll make that available so you can use some or all of them or integrate them into your own presentations. We have technical and marketing kind of value one pages. You can see one of them on the actual slide itself at the moment. So these explain kind of high level value for technical and marketing personas and can be passed to end clients and partners as part of your discovery sales process or after a conversation, early on in the BDR process, or you can even use as a hard copy for events, as handouts, things like that. As a bit of a deeper dive, we'll also have technical and commercial focused FAQs, and hopefully these will help to answer a lot of the questions that you'll have. We'll add to this as well as more questions come in, so please feel free to ask your sales contacts or anybody else that you interact with at Kentico, and we'll get that page updated. And thanks in advance for your questions. We also have key differences between Xperience by Kentico and Kentico Xperience 13. I briefly mentioned the kind of project fit that we were talking about earlier. Both are available to purchase today, just as I've said before. What this it's a short slide deck. It's not a feature comparison. It's more like a high-level understanding of where the products sit side by side, and it helps you to understand the project fit depending on the kind of business scenarios and use cases that the customer wants you to solve. We've been working hard, and we believe that video is really, really important. So we've got some new videos coming. We've got Product Insights and Technical Spotlight series. Product Insights, first of all, we already have 2 videos that have been released on YouTube, and they're kind of longer duration video series brought to you by our product management team, exploring different parts of the platform, explaining different concepts, and walking through in detail what makes them valuable to customers. We also then have technical spotlight videos, which Sean has recently produced the first of, which will be shorter, kind of bite-sized videos for our technical audience to help bring the product to life, and kind of walk through some configuration and back-end developer techie stuff. So Sean will be calling on his many years of experience to show you the important practical things that really matter to you. And I briefly mentioned before as well, we'll also have our upgrade documents. These have been on the partner portal for a little while now, but they're still really, really relevant. So for customers who need 13 today with kind of a feature set that we described before, we have a supported upgrade path to Xperience by Kentico for when the customer is ready to make that transition in the future. And in terms of what's coming soon, so we'll have a new very detailed partner onboarding deck. This presentation explains the kind of the value of partnering with Kentico to new partners or a lot of information for existing. So we make no apologies for the size of this presentation. It does contain a lot of slides. It's not designed to be presented all at the same time. It's a source of information you can access when you need that particular information at any time. Business scenarios and use case demo videos. So we'll record some short demo videos explaining, highlighting sort of certain business scenarios and real life use cases. The roadmap. So we know the roadmap is important. We know customers are asking, well, when's this going to be ready? What about this feature? How many months will it be before I can incorporate this into the project? So we do understand that. It's being worked on very closely behind the scenes. We're trying to get a lot of information from different partners into exactly how they would potentially like that to be shown, and it will be coming like a new view of the roadmap very soon. I think kind of early July, so not far at all in the next few weeks. We'll also provide some guidance for you to match business needs with our capabilities. To help further really with the correct product fit. So when you're going through those kind of more detailed project requirements, some guidelines to help you do that. Okay, so Sean is going to take sharing back over and just whiz you around the partner portal. You can view a lot of this stuff that we've already got. So it's partner.kentico.com, and then if you go to resources section, and then there is a new Xperience by Kentico section. So Sean, if you want to take sharing, you can please show everybody what we're talking about.
Sure. Here we can see the new Xperience by Kentico section in the partner portal. It's under resources, and it's the top level here. So we still have the Xperience Adopters program information here, but it's a child of Xperience by Kentico. And on this landing page, you're going to find the most relevant resources for you to enable you to both sell and deliver solutions with Xperience by Kentico. And so you can see we have explanation of what the page is, our product message. So just to set the mindset for what Xperience by Kentico is and what we're trying to enable with it. Also a description of the resources. And then as I scroll through here, you can see we have events, sales materials with download links for everything, documentation, and videos. And if I were to jump into one of these, for example, like the technical FAQ, you can see we have a long page of questions that we have found partners and customers have about the product, and technical answers pretty in depth and linking off to our other resources where appropriate. A key couple items to note about the this new section of the partner portal, 2 commitments that we are striving to deliver to you to make sure that these resources really enable you. One is we are including the date that these resources were updated here. And because Xperience by Kentico is a continuously evolving and growing product where we are delivering new features and capabilities in every refresh, some of the answers that we provide here are going to change over time. Actually, quite a few of them will over the next couple of years. And so we want to make sure that you're aware when we are updating that content. If you come back into the partner portal, you will know that there's some new information available. And that's going to apply to both the pages and any resources that we're providing for you. In addition to that, we're making sure that we provide descriptions of all these pages and resources so that you understand exactly what the use case is and how these different areas of the portal can benefit you. For example, there's going to be a description below each one of these sections and descriptions of the sales materials themselves to help you understand what is the value that this specific pitch deck or one-pager is going to bring to you. How could it be used? So we want to make sure we provide those descriptions and those dates so that you understand the purpose of the assets and how fresh they are. And you can go and explore this today. We will be continually adding to the content and the information here, and also the downloadable assets. And we will make sure that either in the partner newsletter when we have larger updates to this area of the partner portal, or we have great new assets that we think would be very valuable to you, we'll make sure we communicate those.
Okay, so if that was all, then I think we have come to an end of this webinar. So thank you for your active participation, and we are looking forward to welcoming you to our future webinars. So thank you again, and have a good day.
Thank you. Thanks, bye.